Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. Week 10 of the NFL is here. Last week, again, I went one game over 500, so I went 4-3. And I went 4-3 last week, 4-3 this week. Same as last week. I went 2-2 in my video and 2-1 on my Twitter picks, giving it 4-3. I lost on my video picks. I picked the Chargers. So close, man. This close I had it. And Seattle I lost on. So yeah, Seattle, they're just getting so decimated. In my Twitter pick, I lost on the New Orleans Tampa Bay over, as Tampa Bay only scored 3 points. Still this close. It was 31-0 at halftime. I think New Orleans was rowdy. Unbelievable. So and let's just jump into the comment of the week. Comment of the week is from Villalis. You need to quit saying home team. Have home field advantage. There's no fans. And it sounds stupid. You know, I totally get it. You know, at the beginning of the season, there's probably less people in the stands. But, you know, last week, I should say, week 9, 21 teams have let either fans in, a limited fan run, or, you know, friends or family in the stands. So if your mom's in the stands, you're going to play exceptionally well. You know, you'll see, have your mom there. And they do. I see their wives, their kids there, their mother. You know, I see all walks of life in the stands. I know it's not, you know, 70,000 like it's used to. You also got to figure, you know, players coming in, driving in an hour away from the stadium, you know, had full practice for the whole week. You know, got to spend their times with their wives, girlfriends, and so on. There's that accountability. There's also accountability, you know, like say, you know, Seattle, 2 weeks in a row, been 2 weeks on the road, you know, just taking flights here and there, limited practice. So there's some kind of advantage as far as home field goes, and that's why I'm bringing it up. I know it's not as strong as, you know, the 3 points I would say for home field, like say in prior years, but this year, you know, maybe, you know, 2 points, 1.5. I'll give it that. So I still think there's home field advantage. If you disagree, you know, please comment below. I'd love to hear it. And don't forget to visit my sponsors. Christmas is creeping up. You gotta have those custom-made jerseys at Custom Jerseys Pro. The link is down below. Also visit Bovada on my Twitter page. Sign up for that. And I appreciate those who have signed up for that. That's a big help for me. And the NFL Progs League on Facebook. You know, everything links below. Including my Twitter, Custom Jersey Pro, and the Facebook pages, and all the Progs pages as well. And my fourth pick of the week, my upset pick of the week, we got the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Arizona Cardinals. The Buffalo Bills are a 2.5 road dog, and Buffalo 7-2, won their last 3. They beat the Jets, they beat the Patriots, and they beat the Seattle Seahawks at home. This week they're on the road traveling to Arizona, who are Arizona's 5-3. Arizona is 5-3 ATS wise, as Buffalo's 4-5 ATS. But here Buffalo's the dog in this, and I like these numbers. And also Buffalo's 6-1 straight up in their last 7. And you know, I just think they're the better defense, and because Arizona's defense is depleting, and I'm just taking the points. So give me Buffalo plus the 2.5 points. My third pick of the week, we got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to the New England Patriots. The Baltimore Ravens are a 7-point road favorite. Baltimore 6-2, win streak of 1. They beat Indianapolis last week. They are 4-3-1 ATS this season. Both losses are from being on the road, but they're picking it back up. Baltimore is 13-5-1 ATS in the last 19 games, so that's a great streak there. And 17-3 straight up in the last 20. New England's depleted. Everybody knows this. They barely beat the Jets on Monday night. New England's 3-5 with a win streak of 1. That's the Jets. They barely won. They are 3-5 ATS and 1-4 ATS in the last 5. So give me Baltimore -7. My number 2 pick of the week, we got the Houston Texans traveling to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are a 3-point home favorite. I had marked this game as a Cleveland Browns 7-point favorite, and they're only 3, so I'm taking that all day long. Houston 2-6. They got a 1-game win streak against Jacksonville, and quite apparently they're only 2 wins all season against Jacksonville Jaguars, which they barely squeaked out last week against a rookie. Houston 1-7 ATS wise all year round. Here Cleveland 3-5. The last game was a loss, but they're coming off a bye, and they're 3-5 ATS. So not so great, but I think here they got it lost before their bye. They're pumped to win against a bad team. So give me the Cleveland Browns -3. And my number 1 pick of the week, we got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Chicago Bears. Minnesota Vikings are a 2.5-point road favorite, and I'm drinking the purple Kool-Aid. I'm totally getting it. It's going to be a run game all the way around. You got Dalvin Cook versus David Montgomery. Minnesota 3-5 with a win streak of 2. They beat the 2 prior teams in their division, which is Green Bay by 6 and Detroit by 14. Minnesota is 5-3 ATS this year alone. Chicago 5-4 and 5-4 ATS. So either they win and cover or they don't. That's how that bottom line works. They are on a 3-game lose streak. They lost to the Rams, they lost to New Orleans, and they lost to Tennessee. They were shut out last week, all the way up to the 4th quarter. So yeah, give me Minnesota -2.5. All right, we'll go over the rest of the week. Like I said, the leans I got. Leans last week I did pretty horribly. Just looking back at it, I didn't do so well. And I put a small, wager on those leans, and I did, fairly bad. But this week I feel confident. I like these games. Last week is kind of screwy, but I still eked out, a bit of a win. This week buys are Atlanta, the Jets, Cowboys, and the Chiefs. My 3-team teaser this week, it's always one team. It never fails in the 3-team teaser. This week, I'm picking the high favorites. I'm going with Baltimore. Believe it or not, it's a team I haven't picked all year, and most people haven't. They're playing Houston, and Cleveland's at home. And sounds like a good winner as far as picking a team that no one picks. So taking Cleveland. All right, for the Thursday night game, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the Tennessee Titans. I had this game as even. Anybody could win. It's a divisional game. You got Indianapolis Colts off a loss and Tennessee off a win. Indianapolis, if they want to stay tight in the division, they're going to need this win. I see them 5-3, 13-4 ATS versus Tennessee, so they play Tennessee exceptionally well, and they're 4-4 ATS for the year. As Tennessee goes, they're 6-2, and they seem to don't cover it all. 3-9 ATS in the last 9 games, so they win but barely, and they don't cover it all. To me, it's still an even game. I'm getting 1.5 points, so give me the Indianapolis Colts. Next, we got the Washington Redskins traveling to the Detroit Lions. This spread, I think I have it at 3. I think I saw one line at 3.5. Detroit favored. They're Detroit. Matt Stafford got concussion protocol last week as he got hit, and then he still played even with the concussed, and then threw 2 red zone interceptions, and then they lost by 14. Don't you know? But they just not looking good. I already heard through the grapevine that the Fords are looking for replacements for GM and head coach. So just letting you know that's a coming real soon. Here we got Washington Redskins 2-6. They lost their last game to the New York Giants. 0-3 on the road this year. 3-4-1 ATS overall. Alex Smith, he's not doing all that great either. Washington threw 3 interceptions last week, as Detroit threw 3 interceptions last week. 2 games looking really bad. If it's 3.5 points, I'm taking Washington, just because I'm covering that field goal, even if Detroit does win. Usually Detroit does exceptionally well. The history of Detroit and Washington, just letting you know ahead of time. Washington's always beaten Detroit through, I think it was 19 seasons, the longest streak any team's ever won. or something like that. It was really exceptional. But ever since Washington got RG3, Detroit's won since then. So Detroit, even the last game, I remember this. They played in the in Ford Field, and the one of the coaches for Washington just had to go to the bathroom really bad. He just went right there on the field, just whipped it right out, and just tried to hide behind like the Gatorade place. It was pretty funny. Anywho, Detroit, like I said, usually wins these games but they're 3-0, 0-3 at home, 3-5 ATS. Both these two teams look horrible. I'm taking Washington with the 3.5 points, thinking it's going to be a field goal or less game. So yeah, give me Washington plus 3.5 points. Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the Carolina Panthers. Tampa Bay is 6-point road favored. They're 6-3 with a loss against the Saints badly last week. They're 4-5 ATS, 2-4 ATS in the last 6 games. 4-2 ATS versus Carolina historically, but these are two different teams, so I wouldn't go off the historic too much on that. Carolina, McCaffrey is again hurt, his shoulder injury, so he most likely won't play. Carolina 3-6. The last 4 games have lost to Chicago, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Kansas City. But they've been covering. They got 5-4 ATS, 5-2 ATS in the last 7. So Tampa Bay, Carolina. This is a tough game. I believe Tampa Bay wants a comeback. They need this win. They covered at 6. I had this game at 7, so I had Tampa Bay winning by 7, and I'm getting 6. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay covering at 6, thinking I'm going to get a point, a point of a discount. Basically, it might jump to 7 by the time game day gets here. So give me Tampa Bay minus 6. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the New York Giants. Philadelphia Eagles off a bye. They're 3-4. And they won their last 2 against the Giants and Dallas. And they beat the Giants, but it was only by 1 point. And it was barely. So it was a real close game. Philadelphia is 3-5 ATS. And the Eagles are 8-0 straight up against the Giants in the last 8 meetings. So Daniel Jones has never beaten the Philadelphia Eagles. The Giants are 2-7, and they have a win streak of 1, so they beat the Redskins last week. They are 6-3 ATS. They have been covering 5-1 ATS in the last 6. Are a 14-point road dog. I had this game capped at 10. I thought Green Bay's going to win at 10. They don't really need to win this. I know they blew out San Francisco last week as they, 1-2 as they got blown out in San Francisco last year, and they wanted some of that payback. Jacksonville, not so much. They might take it light, and I'm taking that 14 points. They're on a 7-game losing streak, losing to Tennessee, Miami, Cincinnati, Houston twice, the Chargers, and Detroit. Jacksonville 0-4 on the road this year. 3-5 ATS, 1-5 ATS in the last 6, and that was just last week. 0-7 straight up in the last 7. But they're 6-2 ATS, against Green Bay, historic-wise. But they're just at 0-4 on the road this year. So that's just ugly. I'm sure picking Green Bay is a good, like I said, survival pick. If you haven't picked them already, I know I already have. So I like Green Bay to win, but I'm taking Jacksonville plus that 14. So they got that new rookie. He looked pretty good last week. Kept in the game. They almost beat Houston last week. So yeah, give me Jacksonville plus that 14. Next, we got the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to the Miami Dolphins. This is a close game. I capped this game at 3, and the game is capped at 3. The Chargers get 3 points on the road. Miami's looking exceptionally well. They're going to make the playoffs, believe it or not. Last year we were talking about them tanking. This year, tanking for Tua, and they got Tua. So, and he played decent, in the last, first game, and better than I thought last game. Miami's 5-3 with a win streak of 4. They are 6-2 ATS wise, and 5-1 straight up in the last 6. Chargers, playing Chargers. They just lose it at the end of the game. Even again last week, I thought for sure they were going to break that, but not so much. They are 2-6. And they're a 2-game losing streak against Denver and Vegas, both divisional games. They are 4-3-1 ATS wise and 1-6 straight up in their last 7. But Miami's tough at home, and their defense is really good, especially playing at home. So give me Miami minus that 3 points. Next, we got the Denver Broncos traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. Denver back-to-back road games. This is a divisional game. Again, they're on a 1-game loss streak against the Atlanta Falcons last week. They're 3-5, 5-3 ATS wise, so that means they cover. 13-7 ATS in the last 20 games. That's exceptionally well. But 0-5 ATS wise versus the Raiders. So the Raiders love stomping on. The Raiders are 5-3 in the last 2 weeks. They won against Cleveland and the Chargers. They're 5-3 ATS wise as well, but they're only 1-5 ATS at home. But I was looking at this game around 3 points, and it's 5. So at first I really like the Denver to cover this 5. I'm just up and down on this game. It's a divisional game, but Denver back-to-back road games. They didn't look so hot last week either. So in Vegas, and I think Derek Carr's been playing exceptionally well in the last few weeks. So yeah, give me Las Vegas Raiders minus the 3. I don't expect to play too much money on this, but I think in past history they showed they love to beat up on the Broncos. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Los Angeles Rams. Seattle, back-to-back road games, divisional games, same like Denver. I had this game Rams minus 7. I thought the Rams were going to blow Seattle away. It's only 1.5 points. Thought this was a good deal here. I know you're thinking, 7 points, divisional game, but Seattle's so busted up. I watched that whole game last week. They have no run game, no defense. It's just Russell Wilson, just all man's on him. That's all you do. You double cover, throw blitz Russell Wilson, and you got the game. So yeah, basically Seattle 6-2. They're on a 1-game win-loss against Buffalo. But they're 5-3 ATS wise, 1-4 straight up against the Rams. Rams play them exceptionally well, especially at home. Rams 1-game losing streak as well against Miami. They come back home. They're 4-4 ATS as well, but they're 5-0 straight up at home this season. So yeah, give you the Rams. It's only 1.5 points. I'll take that all day long. Next, we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the New Orleans Saints. San Francisco on that long week, lost at home against Green Bay. And they also lost to Seattle a week before. They're beat up, Garoppolo out. And they just, they look beat. So they're 4-5, 4-5 ATS as well. So if they win, they cover. But I don't think they're going to win. I think New Orleans is going to beat the crap out of them. San Francisco 1-5-1 ATS wise versus New Orleans, so they played New Orleans really well. New Orleans 6-2, and they're on a 5-game win streak. They beat Detroit, the Chargers, Carolina, Chicago, and Tampa Bay last week. They are 3-5 ATS wise, so that means they usually don't cover, but they covered exceptionally well last week. And New Orleans is 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games as well. So. Again, San Francisco, I don't think they have the weapons to keep up with New Orleans. New Orleans at home as well. Originally, I had this game at 7, and it's at 9.5. I usually would pick the 49ers, because I'm getting a 2.5 point discount. But after seeing that game against Tampa Bay, I'm changing my mind on this one and going with the New Orleans Saints minus a 9.5. I don't think it'll reach the 10, but yeah, give me New Orleans minus 9.5. Not laying a lot on that either. And that about wraps things up. One more thing on that Monday night game on my number 1 pick as well. I know Kirk Cousins has not won a Monday night football game, but here they are on the 2-game win streak and the tear on their division. I think, everybody knows he hasn't won a Monday night game, and he's going to win his very first Monday night game. So keep an eye out for that. Before everybody in the comments let me know he never won a Monday night game. I just throwing that out there. People say, oh, we don't need historic trends, but they'll bring that up. I get it. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you every week for those who do, and I will see you next week. Peace.
Want to look like a pro? CustomJerseysPro.com has what you need for any sport. Create your custom jersey by color or style from thousands of designs made for you or your team. Use PICS as a discount code at checkout and save an extra 8% on your next order. Remember, CustomJerseysPro.com and be the next professional in your neighborhood.
You enjoy placing a few bucks on your favorite team? Maybe try your hand at cards or on the slots. Use me as a reference and head over to my Twitter and click on the link below and receive a new member bonus and help support this channel. Bovada, just better. My number 2 pick of the week, we got the Houston